Hi guys, Guy here. Welcome to a new episode. Today I will do a fire type Nuzlocke challenge. If you didn't see the last episodes, go check it out. This is going to be a special kind of monologue that I'll try to do. Each generation divided by episodes. So welcome to episode 3 of my fire type Nuzlocke. The rules for this challenge is, if a Pokemon faints, is dead and must be boxed or released. I can only catch the first fire type or that will become a fire type Pokemon after evolve in each round. Every time I defeat a gym leader, that gym will be my checkpoint. If I black out, I must reset from the last checkpoint. I will be playing set mode. I will use HM Mules if I need to. It's not really a rule, but you understand. My level cap will start level 15 and increase always 5 levels for the next gym. If it goes over level, I will put it in a box until it can be used again. This means this rule will bring advantages, but it will also bring disadvantages for myself. Of course, I will still try to match the levels from the gym leaders if I need to, the ones below the level of course. I can't heal in battle, I'm only allowed to use held items. And I can't use Pokemon that already faint in previous generations. This episode will start in Owen, in the Gen 3 games. Oh yes, Owen. They introduced us 135 new Pokemon to the main series, and all of those 135 Pokemon, we only have 3 new Fire-type Pokemon. Too bad Game Freak don't have too much love for Fire types. But since we are playing Pokemon Emerald, the Fire-type Pokemon you can have is Torchic, Numel, Torkoal, Vulpix, Slugma, and Andour. I could consider Castform as well, but since its original type is Normal, I will leave it in the normal type category. And of course, Houndour it's only found in the post game, so I will leave Houndour on the side. So which means we have 5 Pokemon to catch. Fire types are weak against water, ground and steel types, and they are strong against grass, ice, bug and steel types. So with a little love and patience too, of course, I'm sure we can lead them into victory. So, put a like on that video, subscribe to my channel, Eevee will appreciate, and come with me in this adventure. We move to Little Root Town in Hoenn. The movers can take care of the things, so I go outside for fresh air. And we hear the professor from this region being attacked. I go for a Pokemon and I choose Torchic, of course. We defeat the Zigzagoon and then as a reward, the professor gives me the Torchic. So I name it KFC. I mean, look at this little chicken, so spicy. Then we found May for a battle, but her Mudkip goes down with a few scratches. So we go our way, training a little bit until we reach the town for the first gym. And I go challenge Roxanne, the rock-type gym leader. And this is going to be a little tricky because it's already attempt 6. Yeah, every time I fight Roxanne, I always lose, and it was always a pain because, well, since this was the first gym and I still didn't have a previous gym to reset for, I have to reset until the beginning so I can get another Torchic, and that was a pain really. It was very frustrating. But we get to attempt 6 and like before she starts with Geodude and I go with only KFC, of course. I decide to go for Growl so its attacks doesn't hurt that much. Fortunately, Geodude missed 2 Rock Tombs. Then it starts to go for defense curls. Not good. Then I go for Ember, which crits. Then Geodude goes for Rock Tomb, which doesn't do that much thanks to those growls. Then I go for Ember again, and KFC crits again, putting the first Geodude down. Okay. Next comes the second Geodude, so I go for Focus Energy first. Then a Rock Throw leaves KFC on 1 HP before our Oran Berry heals it a little bit. Then I go for Ember, which leaves Geodude on the red, and Geodude misses a Rock Throw, thank goodness. Then Roxanne heals Geodude with a potion, then an Ember hits and Roxanne heals again with another potion. Then another Ember, and we get the burn, so another Ember and Geodude goes down. Then last is Nosepass, which is a big threat. It starts to go with Harden, I go for Ember, then Nosepass misses a Rock Throw and we hit another Ember, and we get the burn. Again, nice. Then Nosepass misses again, and another Ember leaves it on the red. which is healed by its Oran Berry. And then Nosepass misses, again, the Rock Tomb. So I go for another Ember, and the burn leaves it on just a little bit, which seems like 1 HP. Then, you must be kidding. Nosepass misses again. So it goes down with another Ember, winning us the first patch. Finally some luck, and KFC evolves into Gambascan as a reward. Okay, what the hell happened here? How can a Nosepass miss all of those Rock Tombs? I mean, I know it has 95% accuracy, but well, I heard if it's not 100% accuracy, it's 50% accuracy, so I will take it. Well, moving on to the next gym. It's time to face Brawly, the fighting type gym leader. It starts with Machop and I go with KFC. Machop and Meditite, both of them go down with 2 packs. Last comes Makuhita, I go for pack and takes half of his health. Then Makuhita goes for Bulk Up and its Citrus Berry heals it almost back to full. Then I go for another pack and Makuhita goes for another Bulk Up. Then Makuhita goes for Vital Throw, which leaves KFC on 1 HP before our Oran Berry heals it. And then KFC takes Makuhita down with another pack, winning us the second badge. Damn, that was close. Next we have the fight against Mei. She starts with Lombre, I go with pack from KFC, which makes a lot of damage. Lombre just goes for Astonish before it goes down with another pack. Next is Marshtomp, I go for pack, while Marshtomp goes for bite. So I try to take it down before it can unleash it, but it survives on the red and unleashes bite, which leaves KFC on 8 HP, before it goes down with another pack. Here comes Slagma and I go for pack. Slagma goes for Rock Throw, but KFC still survives on 2 HP and then it finishes off Slagma with another pack, winning the fight. KFC, you are a legend. Then I take the Flamethrower TM from the game corner, so it's time to face Watson, the electric type gym leader. It starts with Voltorb, and Voltorb goes for Shockwave first and then Flamethrower crits and Voltorb goes down. Next is Electrike, which goes down with a single Flamethrower. Next is Magneton. Magneton attacks with Sonic Boom, but then a single Flamethrower puts Magneton down. Last is Manectric, and it starts with Howl. Then I go for a Flamethrower, which makes a good damage, but its Citrus Berry heals almost to full. Then Manectric goes for Shockwave, which leaves KFC with only 12 HP, and then a Flamethrower from KFC crits, and Magneton goes down. And we win the third badge. Nice! On Route 112 I catch a Numel and I call it Volcamel. Finally a new encounter. Then on Route 113 I catch a Slagma. Welcome back to the team, Lava Slime. Then on Fiery Path I found a Torkoal, which I catch and I name it Fire Shell. Then I go face Maxi. He starts with Mightyena and I go with Volcamel. He starts with a Sand Attack and I go with Ember. Mightyena goes then with another Sand Attack and I go with another Ember. Then because of those Sand Attacks I decide to change for Fire Shell, which takes a bite. Then we take another bite and I go for Body Slam. Then Mightyena goes for another bite and I use Smoke Screen. Mightyena starts to miss its bites, so I go for 2 more Smoke Screens and then I go for Ember. But Maxi heals with a Super Potion, but we continue with Ember until we get the burn. Mightyena continues to miss its attacks, so a last Ember takes Mightyena down. Next is Camerupt, so I decide to change for KFC, which takes a Tackle. I go with 3 Bulk Ups and Camerupt goes for a Tackle, and a Magnitude 6, which leaves KFC on the red. My Rock Smash leaves Camerupt on the red as well, but of course Maxi heals it, but then the next 2 Rock Smash takes Camerupt down. Last is Zubat, so I change for Lava Slime, which takes a Wing Attack. Then Zubat goes for Wing Attack, which Lava Slime survives on 1 HP before landing a Yawn. Then I change for Volcamel, so Zubat can go to sleep. And then I change back to Lava Slime so I can take out Zubat with 2 Rock Throws, winning the fight. Damn, look at my team after I face Maxi. Not good. Then I decide to face Flannery, the Fire type gym leader. Very underlevel. She starts with Numel and I go with Fire Shell. It goes for Takedown while I go for Body Slam, which crits, and Paralyze Numel. Then Flannery heals Numel, but another Body Slam crits, and then on the next turn Numel goes down with another Body Slam. Next is Slugma, so I go for Body Slam, which paralyzes Slugma as well. Then on the next turn I go for another body slam and Slugma goes for Sunny Day. Then I finish it off with Ember. Next is Camerupt and I decide to go for 6 smoke screens. Then I change for Volcamel, then I attack with Magnitude, which came with a force of 7 and 8. Then Flannery heals Camerupt. Then I attack again with Magnitude, which came with the force of 9, 5 and 6 until Camerupt is on the red. Then Camerupt hits with a tackle, but I also go for tackle and finish it off. Last is Torkoal and I change for Fire Shell, which tanks a body slam. Then I change again for Lava Slime. Then I go for Yarn. Then I change back to Volcamel while Torkoal falls asleep. Then I go for Magnitude, which come with a force of 9, 7, 10 and 10, which is enough to take Torkoal down and win the fight, winning us the 4th badge. That was very lucky. If Torkoal didn't miss those overhit, probably I would have lost some mons, but I'm glad we made it. Then I go face right away Norman, the normal type gym leader. He starts with Spinda and I go with KFC, I go for Flamethrower and Spinda goes for Teeter Dance, putting KFC confused. But we make through and hit another Flamethrower and Spinda goes down. Next is Vigoroth, so I change for Fire Shell, which takes a slash. Then Fire Shell takes a Facade and I go for Smoke Screen. Fire Shell takes another slash, which leaves it on 6 HP. And I hit another Smoke Screen. And I hit 2 more before I change for KFC again, which takes a Feint attack. Then I go for 6 Bulk Ups, and then I finish it off Vigoroth with 2 Flamethrowers. Next is Linoon, which goes down with a single Rock Smash. Last is Slacking, which goes for a Facade and leaves KFC on 4 HP, and I go for Rock Smash, which lowers Slacking's defense, which means the next Rock Smash takes Slacking down, and we win the 5th badge. And after that we face our rival. She starts with Lombra and I go with KFC. Lombra goes for a priority fake out first, then uses Nature Power, which turns into Swift. But then 2 packs takes down Lombra. Next is Marshtomp, I go for Rock Smash, but then after a Mud Shot from Marshtomp, which KFC survives on 6 HP, I change for Fire Shell, which takes a takedown. Then I go for 3 Smoke Screens, and after that I use Body Slam to take down Marshtomp. Last is Slugma, so I change for Volcamel, then after a Magnitude 7 and a Magnitude 9, Slugma goes down, winning the fight. On the way to Fortress City, Volcamel evolves into Camerupt. Then after we arrive to Fortress City, it's time to face Winona, the flying type gym leader. She starts with Swablu and I go with KFC. I go first for 2 Bulk Ups, then I use a critical hit Flamethrower to take down Swablu. Next is Skarmory, I go for another Bulk Up, then I go for Flamethrower, which Skarmory survives on the red, and attacks us with Aerial Ace, which is healed by our Citrus Berry. Winona of course heals it, but another Flamethrower, which did have a higher roll, takes down Skarmory. Next is Tropius, I go for Flamethrower again, then I go for Bulk Up and Tropius goes for Synthesis. Then another Flamethrower takes down Tropius. Next is Pelipper, a big threat for my fire types. I was putting those Bulk Ups for Altaria, but since I got scared I changed for Fire Shell, which takes a Water Gun. Then I go for a little damage from Body Slam, then Pelipper goes for Protect, then it goes for Double Protect, then I go for another Body Slam, which paralyzes, so I decide to go for Iron Defense. Then another Body Slam, which crits, takes down Pelipper. Last is Altaria, and since this thing has Earthquake, I decide to use Smoke Screen 6 times, while Altaria starts to dance. Then I go for Body Slam, Altaria decides to use Earthquake, which misses because of the Smoke Screen, and also gets paralyzed, of course. Winona heals, but eventually, after some Body Slams, Altaria goes down and we win the 6th badge. Then we get to Little Cope City, where we face our rival for a last time. She starts with Tropius and I go with KFC, and I use 2 Flamethrowers to take it down. Next is Marshtomp, so I change for Fire Shell, which takes a Mud Shot, then I use 3 Smoke Screens, then some Body Slams to take down Marshtomp. Next is Slugma, so I change for Volcamel, then after a Magnitude 5 and 7, Slugma goes down. Last is Ludicolo, so I change back to KFC, and I use a few packs to take down Ludicolo, winning the fight. After that, KFC managed to evolve into Blaziken. Then on Mount Pyre, I catch a Vulpix. Welcome back, Kitsune. Then we face Maxi, the leader of Team Magma. He starts with Mariana and I go with KFC. We get our attack lower because of the Intimidate, so I go for Bulk Up. Mariana even helps me using Swagger, of course leaving me also confused. But we manage to get to +6 attacks thanks to Mightyena, and then a Rock Smash takes down Mightyena. Next is Camelot, but he goes down with 2 Rock Smashes. Last is Crobat, but a few Flamethrowers takes down Crobat, winning the fight. Then I go get the Firestone to evolve Kitsune into Ninetales right away. Of course, Lava Slime also evolves into my cargo, giving more power to the team. Then I go face Tate and Liza, the Psychic type gym leaders. A double battle. They start with Claydol and Zato, and I go with Lava Slime and Kitsune. I choose Kitsune for this battle because it's faster and it can outspeed Claydol to use Confuse Ray. Then Zato goes for Calm Mind, Claydol then hits itself in Confuse, then a Yawn from Lava Slime puts Claydol to sleep. Then I decide to use the same things to Zato as well. Confuse Ray from Kitsune, then a Yawn from Lava Slime. Claydol falls asleep and Zato hits itself in Confuse. I use a Flamethrower on Claydol, which crits and leaves it on the red. Zato uses Sunny Day before he goes to sleep. Of course that will help my fire type moves, so that's good. But then Lava Slime misses an Overeat. Of course I go again for Flamethrower and I target Claydol because I don't want this thing in here for much longer. So after a Flamethrower and an Overeat from Lava Slime, Claydol goes down. Next Lunatone comes out and I decide to put the same status on Lunatone as well. Confuse Ray and Yawn. Then I go for Flamethrower, which burns Lunatone, which is bad because now it will not fall asleep. And on top of that, Lunatone doesn't hit itself in Confuse and goes for Calm Mind. Then I go with Flamethrower from both Kitsune and Lava Slime, which leaves it on the red, and it heals thanks to its Citrus Berry. And Lunatone snaps out of Confuse and makes a lot of damage to Lava Slime with Psychic. So I decide to change Lava Slime for Volcamel, and I use Confuse Ray from Kitsune on Lunatone. Of course, Zato wakes up and uses Psychic on Volcamel, making a lot of damage. Lunatone is healed, then I use Rock Slide to make some damage to Lunatone and a lot of damage to Zato, while I put a Will-O-Wisp to Zato. Then I change Volcamel for Fire Shell, then Zato goes down with a Flamethrower from Kitsune and the Burn. Then next comes Soul Rock. But I'm on a tight spot here now, so I decided to win I will need to sacrifice one of my Pokemon on the field. And probably they will target Fire Shell because it's with low health. So I go for Confuse Ray on Soul Rock. Soul Rock actually hits itself in Confuse and also Lunatone, which means Fire Shell still lives to put at least a smokescreen on Lunatone. Then I go for Will-O-Wisp on Soul Rock, then Soul Rock and Lunatone hit themselves in Confuse, so I can put a smokescreen on Soul Rock as well. Then Lunatone gets healed again and I use Flamethrower from Kitsune on Lunatone. Then Soul Rock misses a Psychic, so Fire Shell can put another smokescreen on Lunatone. Then I go for another Flamethrower on Lunatone. Then Soul Rock misses a Psychic, and Lunatone snaps out on Confuse, but also misses a Psychic. And Fire Shell puts another smokescreen on Soul Rock. Just in case, I decide to go for another Confuse Ray on Lunatone, and Lunatone hits itself with Confuse, then Soul Rock misses another Psychic, so I use another smokescreen, this time on Soul Rock. Then I use another Confuse Ray on Soul Rock, and both Soul Rock and Lunatone hit themselves in Confuse, while I use another smokescreen on Soul Rock. Lunatone is healed again, then I use a double Flamethrower on Lunatone. Soul Rock gets on the red thanks to the Confuse Ray and the Burn. Then I go for double Flamethrower again on Lunatone, one of them being a crit, while Soul Rock hits itself in Confuse, and Lunatone missing a Psychic. Then I use the last Flamethrowers to take down Lunatone, then Soul Rock misses another Psychic, so a last Flamethrower from Fire Shell takes down Soul Rock, finally winning the fight and taking our 7th badge. Damn! I wasn't expecting that I was actually going to win without sacrificing Fire Shell. The smokescreens and those confusing hits were my saviors. I'm glad that this is finally over. Then we have a battle against Archie. He starts with Mightyena and I go with KFC. I use 2 Bolt Cups, then 2 Rock Smashes to take down Mightyena. Next is Crobat and I change for Volcamel. Crobat still leaves Volcamel on 17 HP, but still I managed to hit a few Rock Slides to take it down. Last is Sharpedo, so I change for Fire Shell. Then we managed to survive on 7 HP and take down Sharpedo with a few Body Slams, winning the fight. Yeah, I risked too much on this fight. Fortunately, none of his attacks was a crit, so yeah. After we take care of the legendaries, we go face Juan, the Water type gym leader. He starts with Love Disc and I go with KFC. I go for 4 Bolt Cups, then after that I just use Brick Break to take down Love Disc, Celio, Crawdaunt, Wishcash and Kingdra in one shot, winning us an easy last patch. I'm glad that the Water Gym wasn't that difficult this time. Then it's time to go face the Elite Four, but first we still need to face Wally in the victory road. He starts with Altaria and I go with Kitsune. I go for Confuse Ray first, which Altaria hits itself in Confuse, then I go for Will-O-Wisp to leave a burn on Altaria. Then I change for Lava Slime and thanks to the confusion and the burn, we take down Altaria with a Rock Throw. Next is Delcatty, so I change for KFC and I take it down with a Brick Break. Next is Gardevoir, so I change for Kitsune, then Gardevoir goes for Future Sight, then I use Confuse Ray and a Will-O-Wisp, then I use a Flamethrower. Gardevoir survives on the red, but it goes down with a burn. Next, of course, is Roselia and Magneton, which of course they go down easily with a Flamethrower, winning the fight. So now it's time to go face the Elite Four. And first is Sydney, the Dark type specialist. He starts with Mightyena and I go with KFC. I take down Mightyena with Brick Break. Next Shiftry with Flamethrower. Next Absol with Brick Break. Next Crawdaunt with Brick Break. I mean, it still survives on the red, so when Sydney heals, I go for Bulk Up. Then I take down for good Crawdaunt with Brick Break. Last is Cacturn, which goes down with Flamethrower, winning the fight. Next is Phoebe, the Ghost type specialist. She starts with Dusclops and I go with Volcamel. I know Dusclops will go for Protect, so I decide to use Strength. Then it's when I go for Earthquake to make half damage. We hit ourselves in Confuse one time, but we still managed to take down Dusclops with another Earthquake. Next is the second Dusclops, so I change for Fire Shell. Then we take a few hits from Earthquake, but after I use 4 Smoke Screens, I then use Flamethrower to take down Dusclops. Next is Banette, but I take it down with a few Flamethrowers because of the healing. Next is Sableye, so I change for Volcamel. I go for Rock Slide, then Sableye uses Shadow Ball, but then I go for Earthquake, taking down Sableye. Last is the second Banette, I go for Rock Slide, but Banette leaves Volcamel on 8 HP with Shadow Ball. So I change for Lava Slime, then I use Rock Slide, leaving Banette on healing range. Phoebe heals and I go for another Rock Slide. Then Banette hits a Thunderbolt and we miss the Rock Slide. That's great. So now I have to change for Kitsune and take down Banette with a Flamethrower, winning the fight. Next is Glacia, the Ice type specialist. She starts with Celio and I go with Lava Slime. Celio uses Hail and I go for Yawn. Then I change for Kitsune, which takes a Body Slam, then Celio falls asleep and I use Confuse Ray. Then I change for KFC, then I use 3 Bolt Cups, then Celio wakes up, but it hits itself in Confuse. So on the next turn I use a Brick Break to take it down. Next, the rest of her team falls with Brick Break, except the last Glalie, which I take down with Flamethrower, winning the fight. Next is Drake, the Dragon type specialist. He starts with Shelgon and I go with Lava Slime. And I use Yawn first, then I change for Kitsune to use Confuse Ray while Shelgon falls asleep. Then I change for KFC, I go for 6 Bolt Cups, then I take down Shelgon with Brick Break. Then Flygon with Brick Break, then Altaria I use a Flamethrower first, then a Brick Break, then Kingdra with a Brick Break, and last Salamence with a Flamethrower first and then a Brick Break, winning the fight. And now it's time to face the champion, Wallace. And he also uses Water types. Are you serious? It starts with Wailord and I go with Kitsune. I use a Confuse Ray, then I change for Fire Shell, and Wailord hits itself in Confuse. Then I use 6 smoke screens, then I change for KFC, and while Wailord is missing its attacks, I start to go for 6 bulk ups. Then I use a Brick Break to take down Wailord. Next is Ludicolo, which I take down with an Aerial Ace. Next is Wishcash, which I take down with a Brick Break. Next is Milotic, which goes down with a Brick Break. Next is Tentacruel, which also goes down with a Brick Break. And last is Gyarados, which lowers the attack with Intimidate, which means the Brick Break is not enough to take it down, and survives on the red. But then when Wallace heals Gyarados, I go for another bulk up, then Gyarados uses a Surf, making a lot of damage, and fortunately it's not a crit, and then I take it down with a Brick Break, winning the fight and becoming the champion. Wow, this fight was complicated. I was lucky, so I'm glad it worked, but still I'm not done yet. I still want to see if I can beat Steven with this team. Let's do this. It starts with Skarmory and I go with Fire Shell. I go for 4 Iron Defenses first, then I take down Skarmory with Flamethrower. Next is Metagross, and I'm scared of this thing. Metagross goes for Psychic, making a lot of damage, but then a critical hit Flamethrower from Fire Shell takes down Metagross. Okay then. Claydol is next and I decide to use Smoke Screens, then I change for KFC to use 4 bulk ups, then I take down Claydol with 2 Brick Breaks. Next is Aggron, and I use 2 Flamethrowers to take it down. Next is Armaldo, which goes down with a Brick Break, and last is Cordili, which also goes down with a Brick Break, winning the fight and the run. Wow, this challenge was complicated. I didn't enjoy that much. Why the fire types always have to have a lot of difficulties? I mean, I'm glad we managed to pass by that without any deaths, but that Tate and Liza fight, I really thought I would have to sacrifice Fire Shell. And I'm glad Fire Shell survived, because without him, maybe I wouldn't win the rest of the game. Well, maybe I could. I would have to find another way, so probably I'm exaggerating. But I'm glad my favorite type managed to pass through Owen. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Evie would appreciate, and I hope I see you on the next video. Peace!